Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Dish on Aging on this Sunday afternoon. It is April 18th, and today is episode 17. And we will be talking about how to talk with your spouse or other family members about your financial future. And that includes your current budget and then what your financial future is. Let me tell you why this is huge for seniors, anyone who is retired actually at any age, whether it's a medical related early retirement or if it is an age related retirement. One of the most important factors about bringing in paid care help into the home is the issue of, do you pay for that with your own private funds, or do you not have any private funds at all? And that means your state Medicaid program. You qualify for that, then your state Medicaid program pays for the care coming in your home. They're basically two separate roads of care. Do you pay for your care privately, or does your state Medicaid program pay? So a lot of families have no reason to know this. The care that you are eligible for a lot of times is determined by what is your financial status. That's why it is important that seniors have conversations with spouses. I have been a little bit surprised, sort of, and then not so surprised, that I will meet someone who is a member of a couple. Remember, as a geriatric psychologist, I only provide individual counseling. I don't have the skill. I don't work as a family or marriage counselor, so I don't provide that service. And on occasion, I will have somebody come to me and they'll mention however many decades they've been married, they and their spouse had never talked money, or perhaps it's a second marriage with blended family members, or perhaps it's what I would call a non-traditional family arrangement. A grandparent has been living with the family for years and years, and kind of the finances or the financial status of everyone is not known. I'm not saying it needs to be known. There are reasons to keep things private. And then it reaches a point, and AARP says that point is actually age 50, when you need to start looking at your financial future. How are you going to support yourself after you retire? And to plan for perhaps a early retirement due to an unexpected medical disability. And then sort of what's the constellation, the financial constellation of your household? The question can become the typical married couple. Has the couple even thought about how the life might change? If one passes first, what type of impact will that have on the monthly budget? And then also questions about, well, should we keep separate bank accounts? Our money in one bank account? Will I go bankrupt because she needs the care? And these are all important questions. And you might be asking, why am I bringing this up? As a clinical psychologist with no background at all in finance, I've never even taken an introduction to economics class. Let me tell you why. Because boy, do I see symptoms of anxiety, depression sometimes, and an unsettled uneasiness in families that have not necessarily had this conversation. Somebody is starting with a spouse whose memory might be fading, and they were like, I don't even know what the codes are to get into the bank account to even find out how much money is there. And so this does come up. What I recommend as a solution to get the ball rolling for a family conversation about current financial future and then future planning for care needs is to broach it as the subject. Let's go to an elder law attorney. Let's talk about, so we can talk about wills and we can talk about our financial care needs. The reason why I always recommend that people go to attorneys rather than, I just saw an advertisement this weekend for, less than $100. You can buy a kit by state and you can put all of your wills together. You can put your will together at home. I tell people avoid that. You really want to avoid that. And let me tell you why. Because there are a lot of laws in your state related to Medicaid, whether or not you want to keep your assets together with your spouse, whether or not you want to separate them, and how things will change after one or both of you pass, and that goes into the wills issue. Also, the issue of Medicaid. I made reference a few weeks ago about, for many people, it's about paying for their care needs at home with private funds until they spend down to Medicaid, and then all of a sudden there are Medicaid funds available for free that now cover a lot of what you need, but not everything. They won't go for an overnight home health care aide in your home, but they will probably send a home health care aide out a few hours at a time, a couple of days a week. If that's the level of care that you need, they will help you payment of your medication and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is a brief overview, and what's that? I hear Gamma S knocking at the door. She's going to come into my office with me, but you all won't see her just yet. She's getting her hair done. She's trying to trim up her waistline a little bit for a September 2021 launch of Gamma S. She will be coming to you, hopefully in animation, and at times she'll be sitting next to me. So I have Gamma S at the door now, and she is going to come in, and you will see in your video her drawing, her artwork of the point that she wants to make.
Hi everyone, Gamma S here. What an important topic. I was telling Dr. Sweeney very important to include in this conversation those of us who are family of one. There are a large percentage of households that are made up of widows or widowers, those who have been divorced, those who have been never married. And we're aging, we're getting older. And so it can be important to do something along the lines like I did. I reached out to my nephew. So here's a picture of my nephew. Ideally, it can be helpful to reach out to a younger, good person in good health. You might have somebody who's available, stops by to see you often, but they have always had their own care needs that needed to be attended to. This may not be a good person to bring into your life as a helper to help you with your budgets, to understand your future care needs, and for somebody to know everything that they need to know. This has to be a trusted person. For somebody who needs to know everything about your financial picture, should you, God forbid, have to go into the hospital suddenly. And I know a lot of families have encountered this with COVID in the past year, that you have somebody who can go into your home and access and kind of keep the bills getting paid, keep the mortgage paid until you are able to get home safely and pick up that task yourself. Now, I was able to involve my nephew in that endeavor. You'll notice that I have a question mark over my $100 bill there, because I have not always been clear on where I stood financially. Now, my nephew, he actually has a degree in business. So you can see he talks about how we're going to keep a tight band around this pile of money, and we're going to keep our eye on how we spend it. And so that is helpful. And also, because my nephew he's good with he's got his own house in order, if you will, with his financial planning. And that is what made him a good person for me to reach out to. Also, he's up to the task and he agreed to it. When you're bringing in family members to help you understand your financial current and future, look for somebody who's not right now struggling with their own financial challenges, and look for somebody who is, I don't want to say anything bad about anyone, but if you've got somebody who's struggling with an addiction of any kind, whether it's a drug addiction or an alcohol addiction or a gambling addiction, not good candidates for helping you with your money. And many of them who have found help in a 12-step program will tell you that. I've had people say, well, my grandson lives closest to me and I wanted to involve him in this. I know he had a gambling problem a few years ago. And he said to me, listen, Grandma, it's just not something I can do. It would give me a temptation that I don't need in my recovery. And I appreciated that as a that he said that. That can be, from a psychological perspective, very important and a sign of health when family members are able to tell you that they are not a good candidate to help you for this. It also can make a difference if the family member lives at a distance or lives nearby. Oftentimes somebody can help you with your financial plan from a distance. It actually works really well. Even if you don't use the internet, they probably do. Okay, so that is my 2 cents. Gamma S's wisdom today on how to go about finding a family member who can help you look at your financial future plan if you are in fact a family of one as I am. Okay, thanks a lot. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Gamma. Of course, wonderful words of wisdom. And I look forward to sort of the unveiling of Gamma and her new animated figure. Let's keep fingers crossed. We're able to stick to that timeline on getting Gamma together for her to be able to show up next to me in some of the videos. Okay, that sounds great. I hope I got a good conversation going. Maybe at an afternoon barbecue in this beautiful weather. It can be, I think, a good time to bring it up when you're around friends and family, kind of informally, to ask, hey, does anybody know a good elder law attorney? We've got to get the ball rolling on some of this conversation. Okay, and then next week I will be talking about the concept of, this is a medical term, terminal decline. I'm going to be talking in more detail about what terminal decline is and also answering the question, will physicians. Thanks a lot. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.